In space, no one can hear you scream. Wait a moment. That's the wrong game. Today we're going to take a look at Star Saga. It is a sci-fi dungeon crawler based on the engine from the popular game Dungeon Saga by Mantic Games. This is a game recommended for 1 to 5 players. Typically you'll need a Nexus player, or otherwise known as a Dungeon Master of the future. It's for 1 to 4 adventurers. However, that said, the game does come with an AI system allowing for solo play. The game is based on your crew adventuring through the sci-fi dungeon, fighting with the Nexus-controlled minions, all while hacking computer terminals, searching objects, and dealing with end-of-level bosses. The game is played on a floor tile system with 3D scenery and miniatures for more of an RPG feeling while you interact with your environment. The player's leader is Blaine, a time-traveling mercenary with a shady reputation. However, you'll be playing as his henchmen, a bunch of bounty hunters, mercenaries, lowlifes, criminals, etc. Not exactly the Brady Bunch. Included with the game is one campaign, the Eris Contract. It will take your squad of mercenaries deep into the Mason Labs underground facility. There you'll encounter scientists, security forces, military forces, and more in your search for the stolen research that your team of mercenaries is trying to recover. Speaking of campaigns, there are 4 more mission books that have been announced for release in additional waves in the future. One is being the continuation of the Eris missions called Beyond the Eris Mission Grim Cargo. Then 2 more full-size campaigns, Retake Black Star Station and The Devil's Betrayal. There's also a mini expansion called Terror in the Deep. Mantic has also announced a mission creator expansion along with a character creator expansion to help further your world to your own shaping. Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we have a unboxing. It is not Bolt Action. It is not Conflict 47. You might notice that it has a Mantic Games logo on the box. This came in the mail a few weeks back and I have been avoiding opening it. It's been taunting me, and I can't take it anymore. I'm going to give myself a little early Christmas present and open this bad boy up. This is going to be, well, I'm not telling you. In fact, I'm just going to end the video. Now, I'll open it up. This is going to be the Kickstarter for Star Saga, which is probably in the video title, so you probably already guessed that if you're watching this video. We've got some foam packing here, and we've got some loose cards, and I believe that was because of their quality control at the factory. They left out the core cards, so Mantic went ahead and stuck all those in every box and mailed them out. And then we have a lovely box for Star Saga. Very pretty, very gray, very space hulky on the bottom. In fact, looks like a floor tile. Now, just so you know, there are 2 different boxes. This one is the Kickstarter box, and then over here I've actually got this box too. This is the retail box that I've not opened yet either, and then the Kickstarter add-ons, which makes this almost the same as the Kickstarter. I think I would be missing the dice bag and possibly 1 bonus plastic that's supposed to show up in wave 2, was my understanding. But yeah, my local hobby shop had that, so I picked that one up. And then this one showed up in the mail a couple days later. In fact, it might even show up the same day. I think I got home from the hobby shop and this was in my mailbox. So let's go ahead, let's open this up and see what's in here. I'm sure this will be fun. For me anyways. Sorry about the noise in the background. I do have some 3D printers making some terrain at the moment, so I apologize for the background noise. All right. poster with all the characters. And then we have a ton of stuff. Let me put this on the floor, make some room. That is a lot of stuff. I don't even know where to start. Actually, hold on one second. Let me get some more light in here. It's a little dark. Okay, and I'm back. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. We have the character cards. We have the medium-sized cards, just like Nexus and a few other things. We'll open these up in a moment. We've got some smaller cards, loot and other things. And looks like these are all the same size cards as the Walking Dead ones, if you've done the Mantic Walking Dead game at all. So it looks like the same 3 sizes of cards. Let's see what we've got in here. We've got a bag of red dudes. And we've got another bag of red dudes. And we have another bag of red dudes. Another bag of red dudes. Bag of red dudes. And another bag of red dudes. Actually, there's a chick in that one. I saw a ponytail. We've got 1, 2, 3 bags of blue. I believe those are the heroes and the bosses. We've got a big bag of gray scenery. Paper clips. All right, because everybody needs paper clips. We have a big gray guy. And we have the dice. And that is what I was afraid of. Everyone's been saying the dice are pink. Well, it's not quite pink. It's very salmon colored. It really is the color of some bad sushi. Oh well, it is what it is. Proprietary dice, you're stuck with them. Enjoy. Oh, more stuff. We have a dice bag so you can hide those ugly red dice. A bag of doors. 2 booklets. We have a rule book and a mission book. And we have some punch outs. We have there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll come back to those, get a little better look at those. But 4 sheets of punch outs. Alright, let's go ahead and meet the core mercenaries real fast. These are the 6 mercenaries you'll get in the default box set. You're going to have Ogun Hilkar on the side here. You're going to have Kirby the Robot here. You're going to have Captain Erica Dolinsky. You're going to have Francisco the Devil Slavaggio. You're going to have Elise. And then you're going to have Wraith. And let's take some close-ups of these guys and show you what we got here. Alright, here we've got Ogun. He comes with a burst pistol and then deployable equipment. He starts out each game with 2 sentry guns and then 2 force fields. I would probably take those force fields and I would probably glue them to a spare base if you've got one, or something to keep you from losing them, because those things are guaranteed to get lost. And let's see, take a look at his sculpt real fast. Come on. You see he's got shield generator he's deploying, and he's got some sort of mechanical arm on his back. He can place the 2 guns and 2 shield generators in a square next to him as a turn, or pick them up, and he can also repair them too if they are damaged. Alright, next up we have Elise. Her weapon is Life Drain. It's a short range weapon, no line of sight required. If she causes damage, she can apply the damage to herself, in other words, healing herself, or any friendly mercenary within short range of her. So she can basically suck the life out of a bad guy and apply it to herself or another, sort of like a medic or a healer. Pretty cool. Next we have Wraith. Wraith is equipped with a pistol and a sword, and he can force an opponent to reroll one defense die when he uses his sword. He also does have a special attack which lets him attack multiple people. I'll let you guys figure that one out on yourself, or on your own I should say. Very lovely sculpt. Next up we have the Devil. He is equipped with a flamethrower. As you can see, it looks like he has had a lick of the flame hit him himself, caught in his own blackwash or something possibly. Definitely a true pyromaniac. Some lovely detail on this guy. He also does have a one-shot use of a propane bomb, and I will let you guys figure that one out. Next up we have Captain Erica Dolinsky. I'm believing that she is the squad leader, simply by the fact that she's called Captain. I could be completely wrong though. Look at that detail on her though, she is well detailed. She is armed with just a assault rifle, or a laser assault rifle, and then she also does have a special attack of 3 shots in 1 turn, and that's a one-time use. Alright, then next up we have Kirby the Robot. Kirby has a long-range laser. He has electrical discharge weapon. He has night vision, anti-gravity, so he can fly over obstacles and friendly models. And then he also has an EMP one-time use. Up next we have the Kickstarter exclusive mercenaries that came with Wave 1. I believe that is all of them. I don't think there's any exclusives in Wave 2 and any additional waves. I think they're all released with the first wave. I could be mistaken though. We have the Survivor. That's it. That's his name. We have Kira Nikolovsky. We have Hacker Halftail. And then we have our main hero, Blaine. Let's stop and get some closer detail looks at them. First up in the Kickstarter mercenaries, we have the Survivor. He comes equipped with both a shotgun and a pistol, and he has the option of shooting both in the same turn. If he does choose to shoot both though, he does do a reduced amount of damage per weapon, but he also gets more damage out. He also has some other tricks up his sleeves. I'm just going to leave those for you guys to find out on your own. Alright, so next up we have Kira Nikolovsky. If I can get her to focus. There she goes. Very nice detail on her. I love the little fish tail she's got going on. she comes with a pistol and she is a medic. And then she does have a few other little tricks up her sleeve. Mostly it looks like they are related to medical abilities. I'll let you guys discover those in game. We then come to Hacker Halftail. This guy comes with a ray pistol and hand grenades, or bang bombs as they call them. Trying to focus, sorry about that. And then he has some hacking abilities and some special hacking weapons. Okay, last but not least, we have the big Mamba Jamba himself. We have Blaine. For those of you that have been sharp and paying attention to the cost of the characters in the corner, Blaine is coming in at 460 points. He pretty much costs the same as 4 characters. Your average character is between 110 and 125 points. Actually, let me rephrase that. All the characters are between 110 and 125 points so far. So Blaine counts as an entire squad of 4. So read into that as you will, but I have a strange feeling if you're going to take him into a squad mission, you'll be playing him solo. Blaine is very highly detailed. If I can focus in on him. He does have an arm glaive on. He looks to be wearing armor. He's got some sort of alien tech rifle. And right on cue, I was just about to say my Blaine came without his cape attached. So those that are painting their minis, it might be fairly easy to remove his cape, paint better detail on him, and then glue it back on when you're done. Just don't blame me if you break your figure for Christmas. That's my disclaimer. He does have a Gauss Shock firearm and electro glaive. I'm not really going to give you the rest of his stats because I don't really want to spoil the game for you. He is a badass though. Okay, next up we're going to take a look at the Nexus bosses. These are all core set bosses, so they should come in both sets. We're going to start out with the Aberration. We are going to then have Dr. Lucas Coiner. We are going to have the Organic Data Storage Unit X02A. We have Guard Commander Graves. And then we have Enforcer ES435, codename Monarch. Let's go ahead and get a better look at these guys. Up first we have the Aberration. This is a massive chunk of resin. This guy is different plastic than the rest of the guys. The rest of the guys are bendy. This is rock solid, some kind of plastic or resin. It's a boy. Very nice detail on this. This would be excellent to paint, airbrush, inks, washes, dry brushing are all going to look good with this guy. There's just so much detail and character in this guy. He has a lot of hit points, and he has a tough ability which lets him remove damage from himself. He also has dual attack, and he can destroy scenery just because, you know, he doesn't like it. Alright, up next we have Guard Commander Graves. Commander Graves has a laser pistol. He's head of security, so he has several influences over the Nexus and security guards. So he does have some special abilities there. Very nice sculpt. Oops, lost focus on him. He has a bionic arm, which allows him to re-roll one defense roll, and he can also cheat looking at the Nexus deck, and then he can also give security guards additional activations, and they call in reinforcements, it looks like. Next we have the Organic Data Storage Unit. I guess this is a living computer thing, not sure. I think the back. It does have a 360-degree arc, so you can see in front and behind it all at once and simultaneously attack everything around him. He does have Mind Blast, which sounds like a psionic type weapon. Unfortunately, when he is attacking in close assault, he will hit friendly models that are next to him also, so be aware of that when using him. Alright, our next guy up is Enforcer ES435, codename Monarch. Monarch appears to be wearing some pretty sweet armor. Focus in on him. He does have a bullpup rifle in one arm, and he does have a, looks like a portable computer terminal on his other arm. He does have the bullpup as a long-range weapon, and then he does have many other special abilities and actions. We will let you find out what those are when you meet him in the Nexus, or when the Nexus brings him on. You know what I meant. Alright, and up last we have Dr. Lucas Coiner. This guy is like a Doc Ock. He has many metal arms on his back there with little gadgets each one. Some of them are weapons, some of them are healing things. This is a beautiful sculpt. And I really don't want to tell you what everything is he's got on him, because you're not going to like him when you meet him in game. But definitely he's got some special abilities. And then let's move on to the Kickstarter stuff. And then last but not least, we have our Kickstarter exclusive Nexus boss. We have the Fear. Now I'm not sure how that's going to play into the game, since the mission book is for Kickstarter and non-Kickstarter alike. I don't think it's a different book in the two different games, so don't know how they're going to work him in. But lovely little sculpt. He's got looks like tentacles coming out of his mouth. He's got a shoulder mount phaser, which has a 360-degree arc. He's got tentacle for an arm there, and the other one seems to be pretty mutated. Look at those toes on him. That's pretty crazy. His attack is the shoulder mounted phaser, which is a 360-degree attack, so he doesn't have a front or rear arc. He has a tentacle lash, and then he also has an ability called the Fear. Good luck against him in the game. I will yeah. Alright, as long as we're doing blue plastic, there are 3 more pieces of blue plastic in the box. We have the explosives objective marker. Not sure what that's for yet. We'll find out. That's part of the core game, so we should have that. And then we have the virus containment suitcase, which is the front cover of the objective, or the mission book, and the front cover of the Kickstarter edition. Little thing. And then we have this guy. He has no stat card. I don't think he's supposed to be in the box, but he's in the box. He's pretty cool. He's got legs all the way around, and he's got 4 empty hands and a shiv of some kind in one of them.
And it looks like an oxygen tank or something on his back. Oh, it's going to his arms. Or if he got some sort of like arm-mounted flamethrower or something. That'd be pretty cool. Whoops. As I drop him. He's got something in his mouth. I think that's just his tongue sticking out. I dropped him again. Alright, well. Alright, our first line of defense are our lab technicians. We have 6 of them, 2 different sculpts. We have this young lady with some sort of kettle prod or stun rod or something. It's just a melee weapon, doesn't count for anything. She's got no ranged attack. We have this one with a shiv or a knife or something. And we have 6 of those in the Kickstarter box and 4 in the core set. Our next cannon fodder is the security guards. Again, we have 2 sculpts. We have a female we have a female flying through the air. We have a female advancing with a laser carbine, or carbine. Then we have this gentleman here playing with his digital monocle there. Not sure if he's trying to adjust focus, see something in his eyepiece, do some sort of communications, but there he is with his weapon at standby. And then we have 6 of those, and I believe there's also 6 in the core set also, so there's no bonus ones. Our next line of defense here are the plague victims. We have these experiment gone wrong, or whatever these things are supposed to be. We have 2 different sculpts. We have this gentleman there, and we have one running for you. This one looks like he's got a helmet on and some sort of electronics or hosing or tubing going through his back there. And we have 6 of those in the Kickstarter, but the core game only has 4. Our next level of defense are going to be the Corporation Marines. We have 9 of those. We have 3 different sculpts. Next in the line of defense, we have the Corporation Rangers. We have 2 sculpts of those again, but they are all in the same similar firing pose, but they do have different weapons between them, or different types of rifles, which makes no difference in the game. They're all just listed as a rifle. And I should say laser rifle to be specific. With those, we have 6 of them in the Kickstarter box, and you only get 4 in the core. And then next, as if the Corporation Rangers weren't bad enough, let's give you Corporation Rangers with flamethrowers. So we have just 1 sculpt of these, very lovely. Got a backpack on there with some flamer or flame canisters. Nice little sculpt. We do have 3 of those, and you get 2, I believe, in the core game. I don't even see it listed in the core game. Interesting. I assume they come in the core game, I just don't see them listed in the listing. Then our final piece of Nexus defense is the defense emplacement. It is a automated sentry or gun, and it looks like it is a cardboard token. There was no plastic token for that. I guess that is the Nexus's version of the sentry guns that we have, or should I say the mercenaries have. There are, I believe, 4 of these tokens in the game. And let's move on. Next we come on to doors. We have 6 single doors or small doors and 4 large doors or double doors, depending on which terrain piece they have you going through. I believe both the Kickstarter and the core set come with the same number of doors, and if for some reason you need more doors, I do believe Mantic is selling them, or if you want doors for some other game, you can go ahead and just buy the doors from Mantic. Next we come to scenery. Now, who does not love some good scenery on their tabletop? We have 6 crates of 3 different types. We have, looks like a drawer of some sort. So, looks like it has a terminal or something on the front of it, possibly. We have a bookcase. Well, there's 2 of them. We have 2 of each piece, just so you know. And it's got details of books and test tubes and a boombox and stuff inside of it, and some drawers on it. We have a table. Now these are all a little rubbery, more like the characters or the figures, unlike the doors, which are hard plastic. So these are a little soft. I didn't have much problem with mine being bent. I got a little bit of warps in mine. A lot of people are complaining that they're bent. I hear that just get them warm, or get them hit with a little hot water and they warm up and straighten back out. Like my gun rack here has got a little bit of a twist in it. That's possibly my worst offender. Tables. So there's 3 different types of tables, 2 of each. 2 weapons racks. I'm assuming those are good in game if you get to loot those. And then we have 2 like cryo chambers or some sort of chemical storage units or chambers. Don't know what's in these, but I'm sure we don't want to hit one with a stray bullet, but we'll find out when we get to the missions. So we have 2 of those. These are a little bit heavier. These might still be the rubbery, but because there's so much, it feels like it's a slightly different plastic. More like a resin or something. Let's move on to terminals. Let's take a look at the terminals. There are 6 terminals in the game. These are a harder plastic, more like a resin, but not quite. Very nice detail on them. There are 3 different ones in 2 of each. This thing's pretty cool. Look at that thing. Can't wait to paint these up and put them on my table. This one's a little warped, but again, actually this one's softer rubber. This one doesn't seem to match. I guess this one's rubbery, this one seems harder. Maybe it's just me. But that one kind of straightened out already. Just a little bending, but a little hot water and they should straighten out really good. And as I said, you get 6 terminals. And I believe in the core rules you get 6 also. Yeah, you get 6 in both. So as far as scenery goes, you get the same scenery in both the Kickstarter and the core game. Large cards. So far the large cards are only used for player cards. And let's look at the anatomy of a player card real fast. A player card has its cost points, or its credit cost here, so how many credits it costs. We've got how many wounds it can take. A blue is a shield, so it actually, Kirby has a shield in this case. And then he has 4 regular hit points. Now some characters have a red. Here's red right here. Once they reach the red, they're actually wounded and actually suffer penalties. We'll go over that in gameplay. You have their skill sets, you have their experience bar, their equipment or what they can do, and then you have their feat down here, which is their special item. Now, Kirby costs 125 credits. He can move 5 squares, plus he has anti-gravity, so he can move over obstacle and friendly models. He cannot end on top of them, though. His shoot ability is 2 dice, so every time he attacks with a long-range attack, he can roll 2 attack dice. His melee is also 2, so if he's doing hand-to-hand, he's also going to roll 2. His defense is 3, so when he is attacked, he rolls 3 defense dice. And his hacking ability is 4, so when he's on a computer terminal, he gets 4 dice for the attack. For the minions, it's pretty much the same. The only difference is there's no cost value because obviously the player can't purchase them, and there's no experience bar because they don't experience up. You know, they're the red shirts in Star Trek. We just kill them. So everything else is the same though. You've got your run, your shoot, your melee, and your armor. In this case, there's no hacking. They don't need to hack the terminals, they can just use them. And then the same thing, so 3 regular hit points and then 2 more additional as a wound, and then after that they become incapacitated. I forgot what the game term is for it. I'm sure someone will yell at me. Alright, this brings us to the small cards at this point. So we have 4 different types of small cards. We have skill, mission bonuses, loot, and rare items. Skill is for when a player levels up. So as you play the game, you have experience tracking. So every time you do something that gets you an experience point, you get an experience point. So say I hack a 2-point door, I get 2 points of experience. Say I shoot a minion and I can gain a point for each wound I score. I believe that's how it works. I could be mistaken on that one, but that's just an example. Anyways, once I reach the top, I get a level up, and when I get a level up, I get a skill point. So the way that works is I shuffle the deck and take the top 3 cards, and then I take the ones that are applicable to my character type, and I pick one of them. So I do Mighty Blow, Assault, or Critical Hit. And as you see at the top, I can take KOing, Assault, or Survival. So I can choose, in general, everyone can use general, so I can take any of these. So I could say, take the critical hit one, and that will now stay with my character forever. The rest of the cards go back into the deck, and the next time you need the deck, shuffle them in. One thing I will have you note though, that you have a character cost up in the top corner, so Elise costs 10 points. This card now stays with her forever. For the entire duration of the campaign, this is now attached to Elise. She is now 116 points instead of 110 points when you are buying her into a game or a mission. Keep in mind most missions have a point cap. Let's go to mission bonuses. Mission bonus things are controlled by the Nexus. Certain items or things a character might do will give you a mission bonus item. Let's just flip one over and yuck, I got an eyeball. So I have no idea how I got this eyeball. I don't know if I killed someone and pulled it out of his eye socket, if I found it in my soup, or where the eyeball came from. But I now have an eyeball. I now can use this on terminals, or on a terminal, to allow access to the biometric lock. Discard at the end of the mission. So I'm guessing somewhere in this mission, there is a biometric lock that you have to kill somebody or find this eyeball in order to get past. So again, these are mission specific. we have loot and rare items next. Loot and rare items work two different ways. One is when you're going through the game, you can loot things like, say, cabinets, weapons lockers, things like that. And depending on what the item is listed as in the mission, the Nexus player will know if you draw from the loot pile or the rare item pile. So if I just looted a chest of drawers, I got a med pack in that one, so I now have a med pack. Or if it was a rare item, I could have drawn a rare item and suddenly I have a holo sight. Now, they also double as the equipment deck. So, say I have a mission that has, we'll do simple math on this one, just say I have a spare extra 8 points after buying into the mission for a lease. So I get to go through the loot deck and the rare deck to find 8 points worth of items that I can attach to her to bring her up to the point of the mission cost. So perhaps I want to give her an energy bar and some armor piercing ammo. Not that she can use it because she doesn't have a weapon, I don't believe, but just for the example, she can now buy these 2 points or 2 items to bring her up to the 8 points that complete the level for the mission. Or I could say give her one and give that to one of my other characters. One thing to note about loot cards, I don't know if it's mission bonuses or not. I guess it depends on the card, but for the loot cards and the rare items, you can trade those with another one of your mercenaries as an action item. So if I say get armor piercing ammo and I don't need it, or I get a med pack and I have no need for a med pack, I can go and stand next to one of my other characters and hand it to them. I don't know if they can take it or not. I need to read the rules myself still. Large cards. So far the large cards are only used for player cards. Now let's get the anatomy of a player card real fast. A player card has its cost points, or its credit cost here, so how many credits it costs. We've got how many wounds it can take. A blue is a shield, so it actually, Kirby has a shield in this case. And then he has 4 regular hit points. Now some characters have a red, here's red right here. Once they reach the red, they're actually wounded and actually suffer penalties. We'll go over that in gameplay. You have their skill sets, you have their experience bar, their equipment or what they can do, and then you have their feat down here, which is their special item. Now, Kirby costs 125 credits. He can move 5 squares, plus he has anti-gravity, so he can move over obstacle and friendly models. He cannot end on top of them, though. His shoot ability is 2 dice, so every time he attacks with a long-range attack, he can roll 2 attack dice. His melee is also 2, so if he's doing hand-to-hand, he's also going to roll 2. His defense is 3. So when he is attacked, he rolls 3 defense dice. And his hacking ability is 4. So when he's on a computer terminal, he gets 4 dice for the attack. For the minions, it's pretty much the same. The only difference is there's no cost value because obviously the player can't purchase them, and there's no experience bar because they don't experience up. They're the red shirts in Star Trek. We just kill them. So everything else is the same though. You've got your run, your shoot, your melee, and your armor. In this case, there's no hacking. They don't need to hack the terminals. They can just use them. And then the same thing, so 3 regular hit points and then 2 more additional as a wound, and then after that they become incapacitated. I forgot what the game term is for it. I'm sure someone will yell at me. Dice and Dice Bag. Kickstarter edition comes with this lovely dice bag. Joy, oh joy. Dice. Well, these are the dice that are used in Star Saga. They have 3 different markings on them. They have minor hit, regular hit, and critical, or is that a flesh wound? Regardless, it's still a hit. And then for the defense, you've got the same values. You've got super defense, I don't know what it's technically called, regular defense, and then I sort of defended it, yeah. You get 5 of each, and yes, these are salmon colored. They are not red. I don't really have something red to compare them to, but yeah. I don't know how they come up on camera, but they are definitely the color of bad sushi. Moving right along. Next we come on to doors. We have 6 single doors or small doors and 4 large doors or double doors, depending on which terrain piece they have you going through. I believe both the Kickstarter and the core set come with the same number of doors, and if for some reason you need more doors, I do believe Mantic is selling them, or if you want doors for some other game, you can go ahead and just buy the doors from Mantic. Next we come to scenery. Now, who does not love some good scenery on their tabletop? We have 6 crates of 3 different types. We have, looks like a drawer of some sort. So, looks like it has a terminal or something on the front of it, possibly. We have a bookcase. Well, there's 2 of them. We have 2 of each piece, just so you know. And it's got details of books and test tubes and a boombox and stuff inside of it, and some drawers on it. We have a table. Now these are all a little rubbery, more like the characters or the figures, unlike the doors, which were hard plastic. So these are a little soft. I didn't have much problem with mine being bent. I got a little bit of warps in mine. A lot of people are complaining that they're bent. I hear that just get them warm, or get them hit with a little hot water and they warm up and straighten back out. Like my gun rack here has got a little bit of a twist in it. That's possibly my worst offender. Tables. So there's 3 different types of tables, 2 of each. 2 weapons racks. I'm assuming those are good in game if you get to loot those. And then we have 2 like cryo chambers or some sort of chemical storage units or chambers. Don't know what's in these, but I'm sure we don't want to hit one with a stray bullet, but we'll find out when we get to the missions. So we have 2 of those. These are a little bit heavier. These might still be the rubbery, but because there's so much, but it feels like it's a slightly different plastic, more like a resin or something. Let's move on to terminals. Let's take a look at the terminals. There are 6 terminals in the game. These are a harder plastic, more like a resin, but not quite. Very nice detail on them. There are 3 different ones in 2 of each. Seems pretty cool. Look at that thing. Can't wait to paint these up and put them on my table. This one's a little warped, but again, actually this one's softer rubber. This one doesn't seem to match. I guess this one's rubbery, this one seems harder. Maybe it's just me. But that one kind of straightened out already. Just a little bending, but a little hot water and they should straighten out really good. And as I said, you get 6 terminals. And I believe in the core rules, you get 6 also. Yeah, you get 6 in both. So as far as scenery goes, you get the same scenery in both the Kickstarter and the core game. Let's move along. Let's not forget the star of the show, paper clips. These are little clips for going along the edge of your card to keep track of your experience. I will not be using those. I don't feel like mangling my cards. I will find an alternate way to keep track of my experience. And last but not least, the cardboard tiles. We have 4 sheets of punch-outs. They are all very lovely and colored. They are double-sided. They are nice and thick. Mine are a tad warped, but not so bad that I can't play the game. They punch out that easily. Wow. All right, that just came right out. We've got some wound markers on this one. Not just all corridors, but this one has a few large rooms and a few, looks like double wide corridors. This one appears to be large rooms. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 large rooms and a 2x2 corridor. I'm sorry, 1 by 3 corridor. I can't count. So that one looks like a med lab. That's pretty cool. Considering this is supposed to be a laboratory, I'm surprised that there aren't more of those. Oh, that one's got some pulled wires on it. That's kind of cool. It's like broken fiber optics or something. This one has T intersections and some L intersections, smaller rooms. We have more wound counters on here. We have a darkness token, this guy right here for when there's no lights. We have the flamethrower template. That is a large template that goes pretty far. Ooh, looks like someone made their home in the corner of this room. Oh, there's a toilet in there. I think it's a prison cell. Cool. Don't like that one's got a radioactive sign and glowing. Nice little details they've got on some of these sheets. Ooh, looks like someone got capped there. A little bit of blood. And these odd-shaped corridors with multi-little passages on them. And this last one is mostly tokens. We've got a 3x3 room. We've got those defense guns that we saw earlier. Ooh, look at that. We've got a couple of corpses. Some more darkness tokens. We've got the player tokens to signify that the player has moved or hasn't moved yet. We got a do not or a unopenable door icon. We have the long and short blaster template. Sorry, trying to make it focus there. So that's the range ruler for a long range and a short range weapon. We have the spawn points for the minions. We have the spawn point for the mercenaries. We have the level up indicators. We have the door difficulty indicators. So we've got unopenable 222 and unopenable over there. On the back of the sentry guns, it's just a 1x1 tile. Here's the 1 difficulty. So it's the back of the 2s are other sizes. There we go. So 1s and 3s, didn't know there were any 3s in the game. Those are going to be interesting. On the back of the spawn points, you'll notice that they turn red for you can't spawn there for the minions. And oh, that's kind of cool. The mercenary spawn point turns into a minion spawn point on the back side, which makes me wonder if there is something that changes the minion or the mercenary spawn point to a minion spawn point. I wonder if there's something in the Nexus or a mission where that changes. It's kind of neat. The cardboard is fairly thick. Mine is slightly warped, but it should not be enough that it would hinder gameplay, especially once you start punching them out. It won't be as noticeable. We have the Star Saga rulebook. This also comes with a digital one with the Kickstarter, so if you've got an iPad or something, or some sort of tablet, you can go ahead and grab that, or even read it on your laptop if you want. You've got your contents and introduction on the first page. You have the walkthrough mission. The game teaches you how to play by walking you through a game. So they have you set up mission A and basically walk you through playing it. So it teaches you as both a mercenary and a Nexus on how to play as you go in real time and go through each piece. So you got your sequence of play. So you've got mercenary phase, Nexus phase, end phase. So there's only 3 phases to the game. Feats, moving the models, line of sight, shooting actions, template weapons, how to resolve an attack, range. Missed a page there. Interacting with scenery, recovery, pot shots, resolving attacks, how to read the attack dice, how to deal damage, receiving damage. A quick little example of line of sight here, and resolving combat, opening and closing doors, close assault, accessing terminals, access denied, interacting with scenery, the Nexus phase, teaching you how to do the Nexus, reinforcing troops, make bonus activations, drawing the cards. And this whole section is on the artificial Nexus. So this is how to play solo. So basically how to interpret the cards and have the AI play against you as a solo player. More of the same, it looks like. And then how to end the phase, how to do mercenary damage and crippling a mercenary. Going over the missions. Talking about loot. Additional rules, some more advanced rules here. We have breaking away, dealing with equipment, shields, how to swap equipment, crippled mercenaries, deployable equipment, how to replenish your shields, the zones of the map, how you destroy scenery and its hit points, how to play with darkness, using stealth, moving in stealth, distracting and alerting the Nexus players, bosses, movement for large models. So that goes into what I was thinking about, how these big guys are going to move down the corridors. Here it shows us. I was looking how there's small corridors and large corridors. I knew that guy wasn't going to fit in the corridor. See him stick his head or an arm in there like Kong, but can't get anywhere. How to play this as a campaign. So it's rolling through the entire book from A to B, or A to Z, I should say, and carrying over your injuries and your credits and experience points. How to level up, attributes, and then a quick page with all the reference material on the back, which is good. It goes through everything, and it even has page numbers and where you're going to find everything. So a real quick handy play guide on the back there. Let's look at the mission book. Oh, there's a mission on the back. Let's not go there. So the mission book goes through the introduction to the mission and why we're here, and goes through a bunch of other stuff. It goes over the core team that's included in the core box set. It goes over the key personnel that are included in the core box set. Discusses the plague, and then starts to set you up for the first mission, and then brings you to the first mission. And let's block this up. Now this is mission A. There are A, B, and C as far as I can tell without looking ahead, and then 10 missions after that. So A, B, and C are sort of to teach you how to play. The one thing I don't like is that, I'm going to go ahead and spoil this for you, when they have the sections with doors, they have them all on one page for the Nexus player, but they try to put solo rules in here. If you're playing solo, you end up seeing the entire map and kind of spoiling it for you. I kind of wish they made the book much thicker and then had each section open up on another page. So you could flip through it, play the one through if you're doing solo play. Once you get to the next section, section 2, section 3, etc. if necessary. In this game, no, they put all the sections on one page and you just go through it. I'm not really spoiling anything with this mission by showing you because this is also in the how to play, it's the same mission. So, just my thoughts. If they're going to offer solo or suggest that it has solo and put AI in here, I think they should go and make the book a little bit thicker, add some more pages, and then add the sections a little bit separately so that you can all go through and only see what's pertinent at the moment without spoiling it for you. I understand there's going to be very little surprise playing solo, but it'd be nice if there was more surprise. So, it'd be nice if you go through Zone A is on page 1, flip it, page 2 has Zone B for that mission, flip it, next page has, Zone 3 and however many zones there are. I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to go into this book any further. I don't want to spoil it for you. This is one of those ones that probably doesn't have a lot of replayability, at least not with your first team, but at the same time, it's kind of nice that it's not spoiled for the first time you go through it. So let's just go ahead and close this up. And thank you so much.